welcome back, you podcast listeners, to the Where's the Wagons podcast. This is Mario. And what we're going to go do today is do another top 5 in no particular order of top 5 video games.
Sounds like a Bond villain.
You sound like the Sancho guy from Orgasm.
Who wants to Sancho? So who wants to lead us in? Are we going to start with that?
Well, I think we're going to start. I think we're going to rehash. This is now the third segment of talking about pizza rolls versus bagel bites, and we're going to rehash it. And we need Patrick in here for this because he's the pizza rolls king. Because he believes it's the best.
That's a part of our top 5.
He'll hear when he's at it.
He'll hear when he's at it.
So who wants to start with it?
Well, I can start with top 5.
I mean, I'll go right.
Start with top 5.
We got to do the song.
Wait, we're doing top 5. Oh, we got to do the song. You want to say the song?
Patrick said he's going to lead the song in, though. But no, we're doing our own song.
Good.
Our own song.
Bites are better than pizza rolls in every way possible. Pizza rolls burn your mouth in half, and you can't eat them without burning.
They are equivalent to.
Oh, fuck, I can barely hold them. It's so hot.
Patrick is, I don't think, for our listeners that are not on the video, he's handing out pizza rolls. Everyone incinerates their mouth right now.
But to give Patrick credit.
Okay, all right.
These are heated nicely.
Benedict Arnold.
Patrick did bring pizza rolls, and I unfortunately said I was going to bring bagel bites and failed to do so. So pizza rolls do win for the evening.
Everyone but me and Mike are having pizza rolls. I don't want them because I'm team bagel bites all the way. I won't even eat a pizza roll.
It's like completely
I'm
boycotted.
dying on this hill of pizza.
Mike's mouth was
fruit.
Is it a tasty?
Oh, did you eat one?
Mike likes pizza
Well,
rolls.
forget you, Mike.
I prefer pizza roll.
I'm going to go back to silent Mike over here.
Wayne,
Totino's?
what do you think?
It's got to be the Totino's pizza roll.
I'm a bagel bite guy.
I like the vegan pizza rolls too.
Oh,
the vegan
no.
ones are good.
I was going to
It's
say,
like
is
made
there,
of, like,
is there another
cauliflower
brand
and
besides
stuff.
Totino's?
I saw somebody posted a picture of White Castle pizza rolls. They are pizza.
They're not pizza rolls. They're like they're castle burgers or whatever.
They're
White
Castle
Castle
Burger.
Everybody has had a pizza roll with me.
Burger rolls. No, thank you, Patrick.
I'm going to eat one, but I don't want to. Let me see if it's hot.
I just squirted in my mouth.
It's actually perfect.
It's like a
The air fryer did them nice.
The air fryer
It's
is
like
better than the microwave.
it's like a pizza
good.
gusher.
It's
Yeah.
like that normally burns the piss out of your mouth, but the air fryer
does
seems
them
to have
right.
done it pretty well.
And it wasn't ice cold in the middle.
So
Like
does
a
that mean
hot
does that mean it's a fruit snack or not? If it's a pizza gusher?
Yeah, does that mean
And for right now,
does that mean it's a candy?
there's a large
You
hand
find it in the candy
with a
aisle.
middle finger. A large hand with a middle
Find
finger.
it right next to the
From roll up.
what do you call what do you used to call those microwave dinners? The
Hungry
Hungry
Man?
Man.
yeah, Hungry Man's. Which one that had like the
They had the
cartoon
kids'
characters
cuisine.
on it? Oh, kids cuisine. Kids
Yeah.
cuisine. Yeah, that was it.
The
I love that
9,000-calorie diet food.
The man can cook.
With the liquid brownies
He
that
can
heated
cook-
up to
He
be
can
hard.
cook up a
Oh,
pizza
yeah.
lean.
The kids' cuisine.
And then you can whip up some eggs like nobody else.
No,
Oh,
I think that's not.
Yan can cook.
I don't think he did that.
You don't want no breakfast?
Steve.
You know what?
All right, so top 5 video games. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll go shit.
Yeah.
Since nobody's
Jumping.
stepping up to the plate, I got 4 honorable mentions.
Oh my
And
God.
Patrick just actually mentioned the one that just popped in my head, and I can't believe I couldn't think of it. But to start off, I'm going to go with Marvel vs. Capcom.
That's a good one.
I mean, that's just a great
Solid.
game, you know. Who didn't love having playing as Cyclops and having him go optic blast, optic blast?
Mine was Wolverine.
And of course, Captain America. He was like stars and stripes.
Wolverine and Gambit. Those are my two.
That was Wolverine was really good. I think it was a Magneto and Wolverine guy.
Oh, I may be thinking of X-Men versus Street Fighter. Sorry.
I did the 3-man combo with Captain America, Cyclops, and Ryu, or Ryu, however you want to say his name. I think it's Ryu.
It's Ryu.
That was
Ryu.
that was
Wayne
Ryu. It's Rue.
These Ryu or something.
Nah,
That was American Whitey said to say it. You know.
Whitey. Whitey Ford sings the blues.
Kill Whitey. Kill Whitey. No.
No.
So for my second honorable mention, I'm going to go with a relatively modern game that I kind of fell in love with from sponsoring the Grace King Video Game Club, and that is DBZ Fighters.
Oh.
And it's a Dragon Ball Z fighter game, and they basically have like every character in the whole Dragon Ball Z universe. So it was,
Yeah, Berta on there.
yeah, Berta's on there.
Yeah.
Kevin has that game, and that's one of the games that I played with him a lot. Another one that I played with him a lot is my top 5, so I'll say that. The third honorable mention, I'm going to go with a combination of Super Punch-Out and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I think I like Super Punch-Out a little bit better because Super Nintendo was easily the best console, I think, ever. And I had the best games on it. And, me and Travis probably beat that game in and out when we were kids over and over and over again.
Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
Had Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Super Punch-Out.
Oh, Super Punch-Out. I was about to say.
Now, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, my favorite character.
NES.
My favorite character.
NES, for sure.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was regular Nintendo. And
Super Punch-Out, I'm sorry.
one of my favorite video game characters ever was Soda Popinski. He came from the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But as far as like being
Super Punch-Out?
he wasn't in Super Punch-Out. But as far as like he was one of my favorite characters. But as far as like overall being better at the game, Super Punch-Out.
Mm-hmm.
Last honorable mention is another Super Nintendo game. That's Ken Griffey's Major League Baseball.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Such a good game. I play with the Orioles all the time, and it's funny because even though they never had the real players' names other than Ken Griffey, you could tell who the players were by the position and the numbers.
I used to type them in.
Yeah.
Or I even typed in our Little League team. I put like our actual name.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
we
you
would
could
play
do
with
that.
our part players.
So Patrick's just walking in. So my honorable mention so far, Patrick, from Marvel vs. Capcom, DBZ Fighters, Super Punch-Out / Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and Ken Griffey's Major League Baseball.
Ooh.
King Griffey.
So moving into my top five, I'm going to go with one that Patrick kind of mentioned earlier. Not Super Mario Brothers, but Mario Kart. Mario Kart is it was one of those games that we played for hours. I mean, over and over and over again daily. How cool was it to actually race on Rainbow Road? I mean, I was a Luigi guy. Luigi was, again, going back to what I said about Soda Popinski being one of my favorite video game characters. Luigi is also one of my favorite video game characters. So,
Luigi.
love Mario Kart. Played it all the time. Just gonna burn the piss out of my mouth.
I'm going to keep it here for a sec.
You can talk whenever you want.
It's just hot ass lava puff.
The air fryer
Hot as lava puff.
changes the game.
Went up to
To be fair, those came straight out of the air fryer. So
That changes the game, though. The air fryer changes the game.
temperature's a little hotter though on this one.
yeah, because they wasn't sitting for like 20
Might
seconds.
have a 3rd degree on it.
Yeah,
Can we cook bagel bites in the air fryer?
I think
Yes.
my tongue's gonna feel out
In
in
the
the
oven style, maybe, not the basket style.
Mario Kart, Super Nintendo, number 5 will be number 5. Number 4, and I couldn't pick one. I mean, I think Patrick was talking about, or Josh, one of y'all was talking about series earlier.
Not for me. I'll go second and get out of the way.
And like,
I'll cover everybody else.
I can't pick one that really stood out from the other because they're all good, but 4, I'm going to go with Mortal Kombat. Kano, my favorite character.
On which system?
I was Kano one year for Halloween.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, man, because
The blood on Sega Genesis.
I would say Super Nintendo or PlayStation. I mean,
Super Nintendo had the fake sweat or whatever. It wasn't
Sega graphics and sounds sucked.
I really-
they really did.
It was like fucking Game Boy sounds.
I really like Mortal Kombat 2, but because me and Travis bought a book back in the day that had all like the fatalities, the fatalities, the friendships. But Kano wasn't on that game, so I can't necessarily put it in my favorites.
That's a great move.
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat.
I like Mortal Kombat. I think I have it over there.
How many people in this room, one of the first things you looked up on the internet ever were Mortal Kombat moves and fatalities?
Probably.
In like 95, 96, at my mom's office, and I'm like, what is this? And I can just look up anything in the world. And of course, I look up
And
more.
you put porn.
I printed out Mortal Kombat
That was right my
moves.
first look up.
No, not gonna lie, there was something. It was somehow Sonya Blade nude or something. And I just thought, it was like, what is this? it scrolled down. It took like
Slowly.
8 minutes to load, and it was some
This-
grainy ass thing. I'm
if
like,
this
what am I
doesn't-
looking at?
If
But
this
it wasn't
doesn't,
Bridget Wilson.
if this doesn't fill into where we started earlier with
Did you
top
know
5
that-
high cartoon characters.
You get the Bush. Ew.
Push the band.
All right, so number 4, I'm
Glycerine.
It's the entire Mortal Kombat series.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's
Cindy Margolis nude.
good. Wow.
Man,
Cindy Margolis now or 2000?
was the show Wild on? Was it Davis? Davis?
Number 3, and this is a game that even to this day, if you set the game to classic controllers, you can play and be just as good at. And when it originally came out, it was called NHL Face Off. Now it's just called NHL and whatever year behind it. But it's just a fun game, you know. It's the only sports game that I have in my top 5. It's the only one I have in my honorable mention. It's because the only one I really enjoyed playing. I sucked at Madden, NBA 2K or NBA Live, whatever you would call it. I wasn't that into. The show was kind of difficult, so I wasn't always a fan of that. But NHL was just one that I got, and you know, me and Travis being hockey fans, we pretty much had every year that came out. And to this day, like I said earlier, what games I play with Cannon, DBZ Fighters is one, NHL is the other. The only problem is I'm good at that game, he's not. So it's like I would score two goals on him earlier, goals up on him early, and then it'd be kind of boring because I'd have to kind of sit and let him try and catch up. And he never could.
Curb something.
But NHL Face Off or NHL whatever year comes in at number 3. Number 2, Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal, I just love that game. The whole concept of the game is cool. You can do single players where you pick your car. I was always the motorcycle. I can't remember his name. I think it was Dr. Death or something like that.
Grim.
Dr. Grimm, yeah. I loved playing with him because he was fast. But I also was Sweet Tooth from time to time because he had a big ass ice cream
I was
truck.
going to say, was that the clown with the ice cream?
Yeah.
That was
It was just a cool game though because you could do either like one-on-one combatant, so you could do a tournament where you played around the world, or basically it was a tournament where you beat one guy and then moved on to the next. I mean, it was just a cool game. You know, you drive around in the car and you try and blow the other car up.
They just came out with a TV series on Peacock.
I wasn't able to check out the TV series because on Peacock, but I know Samoa Joe plays Sweet Tooth, the clown that drives the ice cream truck. But it was a fun game, and even to this, I think they're coming out with another game, and if they do, I definitely want to get
Yeah,
it.
they've rebooted it a couple of times.
I think they're talking remastering it.
Super fun game. Number 1 is it's not going to come to any surprise to Travis. Maybe it'll be a surprise to you guys. I first started playing this game at Poncho's on Veterans.
Hey,
It was an arcade game originally, and it features you could pick between 4 cowboys, and basically, I think there's 8 levels. Me and Travis beat this game over and over and over again. You can pick between Billy, Bob,
Thank you.
Steve, and Cormano, and it is Sunset Riders.
mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
To me,
I've never played it.
Good
choice.
I played the game constantly as a kid, and we beat it over and over and over again. I remember the villains.
Arcade or Super
Hawkeye,
Nintendo?
something or other, who's like, you will eat big trouble.
Yeah, I wasn't liking that game.
This is bringing back way too many.
Yeah,
The bullets.
arcade was at Poncho's, but we had this on Super Nintendo at
The
home.
bullets that came out, one didn't even look like bullets, they're like big pink balls, but the dudes shot and Sunset Riders comes to number 1, and I just gave Travis a little keychain that I got off of Etsy with it looks like a Super NES.
Can we get you on film reacting to the pizza rolls burning your lips?
They're fresh air fryer. Of course, they're going to be hot.
You gotta wait 45 minutes.
But the close
No,
out,
that's a bagel bite.
A bagel bite would just be ice
Or-
cold and burnt.
Any food right out of the mouth.
Okay, ice cold and perfect.
well, to close
I'm
out,
not going to backtrack on this.
to close out on Sunset Riders being my number 1, it was Travis and I's birthday this past weekend. I got Travis a keychain of Super Punch-Out cartridge, and I got myself a Sunset Riders one that's hanging over there. Sunset Riders is my favorite game ever. I just love it. So if they remastered it and came out with a new game for Xbox or PlayStation, I'd surely get it.
All right. I'll jump in. I'll do number 2. Well, second person.
Yeah, don't take a shit, John.
What?
I'll do number 2.
Maybe. This is a number 2 because all my jokes are the number 2s tonight. Anyways.
That's pretty good.
Hey. But yes, good segue. Yeah, that was a good joke. Well, no, because, in no particular order here, because I don't know if it's number 1 or not, but because Todd reminded me of come back in on Williams Boulevard, where I discovered and played the shit out of the original Mortal Kombat arcade machine. When this was after baseball games or practice, when the whole team and parents are sitting there, and I'm like, look guys, look, and I'm like, Sub-Zero rips off the head with the spine, and they're like, what is he playing over there?
Our parents
fucking delinquent.
No clue.
Yeah, we think it's cool as shit. And we're like trying to show people, and it's like, wait, and then it's like they all collectively discovered what Mortal Kombat was.
The 90s.
But if I had to pick, of all the Mortal Kombat's, I'd probably say Mortal Kombat 2.
I like the arcade.
Played the shit out of Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, 2 is the easiest. Remember all the fatalities and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Katana, Baraka.
But there was no Kano, so.
Yeah, Katana, Baraka added. Those was Cabal. Those were some of my favorite characters.
Striker.
And that, I was saying, I had categories. Mortal Kombat's going to be over Street Fighter, Tekken, all the other fighting games, even though I play a shit ton of fighting games.
So I didn't mention Tekken.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't be too specific. So I'm just like, of all fighting games, Mortal Kombat, obviously. I still play Mortal Kombat Armageddon on the Wii with my daughter. She picked Sindel. That's her favorite character. I keep wanting to show her the second Mortal Kombat movie because Sindel's actually in the movie, but she refuses to watch it with me. But anyway. So anyway, moving on. So then, that's like, all right, that's one thing. There's too many sports games out there, like NBA Jam, Punch-Out, King Griffey. But the one that comes to mind is NES Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yes!
Not just the original, but the Super Tecmo Bowl when they had every team.
Fucking Jackson.
Well, I mean, he was on the original Tecmo Bowl. I do play that with Tori, too, on the Wii. She says, Jesus, yeah, right there. She says, Dad, I want to play the football game. We play Tecmo Bowl, and she refuses to let me pick Los Angeles. She knows better.
Because of Bo?
But yeah, the Super Tecmo Bowl, she likes the Miami Dolphins and just, runs up the middle over and over again. But anyway. Super Tecmo Bowl was when they added the Chargers, who I liked, my first team that I liked. And I remember playing a season and fucking Marion Butts had 45 touchdowns. Probably didn't have 45 touchdowns in his whole career. But, I mean, I don't know if y'all seen that sweatshirt I have with the NO with the Saints grainy old logo. I wear that and people ask me, oh, that's from Tecmo Bowl, that's so cool, But yes, the NES version. I know y'all had the SNES version. That one was still good. But at UNO, I had the mods or whatever it was, the emulators. And I'm sitting in class playing Super Tecmo Bowl on my computer at the time, on my freaking laptop.
There you go.
Trying to figure out how to do that with a keyboard.
You do that in your final semester.
That's why I did so well in college. Anyway, so moving on. Another category is first-person shooters. There's so many fucking first-person shooters. And, GoldenEye's up there, Wolfenstein's an OG, Duke Nukem, but the one I have to go with that I probably put the most hours into was Doom 2.
Mm-hmm.
Doom 2, that one was one that, for us computer nerds, you could take the files and copy them from one computer to the next and put Doom 2 on anything. And I remember at UNO, we actually put Doom 2 on the library computers and played it was the only time I remember playing multiplayer on that. And we were like, wait, somebody's coming, turn the monitor off real quick. It was we're playing some multiplayer Doom 2 in 2003 or 4, whatever the hell that was. So then, last ones, okay, I guess I did have an honorable mention. I was going to, because these top two are definitely top twos. But the Mega Man series, specifically Mega Man 2, I remember getting that game from my uncle randomly and having no clue what Mega Man was. And that became a game I put hours into, and, Anyway, these last two, well, I guess how Patrick was saying, series, but these two in particular. All the Zelda games that you could come up with, specifically was Ocarina of Time on the N64. That's probably the only one, well, maybe the Link to the Past on Super Nintendo that I played for hours and actually beat the entire game. And that was getting it for Christmas and the whole week or two off for Christmas, playing it nonstop. With my next door neighbors, you remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to say the type of people they were. They were very into games like that. So it was the Christmas of Ocarina of Time, of, figuring out how to do everything in that game. And then lastly, of all the Mario games out there, that's saying every, as good as Mario 64 is, or Super Mario World, stuff like that. One that's near and dear to my heart is Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
because that's one that I'll go back to. Like I have it on the little mini console. My child even likes playing parts of it and watching me play it. They even just rebooted it for the Switch. There's like an HD version that came out with the Switch that I got her for Christmas. She hasn't really gotten into it yet, but hopefully, she'll take to it like I did. But even the mini console, last time I played through the whole game and beat the thing, it said I logged like 55 hours on the thing. And it's, because it's a game, it's not like any other Mario game. It's, a storyline, it's an RPG format.
No, it's a great
But
game.
it's amazing to think that this can log with, like, it takes you 55 hours to beat this game. Like, holy crap. But, yeah, that's one that's, very unique, one I always go back to at different times in my life. So,
I guess I could go next.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's allowed.
All right, so in no particular order here.
Wouldn't have
But
it any
maybe
other
there
way.
is
any
an
other,
order.
we would have
Maybe there
No,
is an order.
I don't know. Oh my god. This is so fucking hot.
thank you, Mike.
All right, honorable mention.
That's the best thing you can say.
Honorable mentions. How about Kirby?
Yeah.
Oh. Like Kirby?
The whole series, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, which one's number one? I missed it.
All the Mario 64.
And I do gotta.
Super Mario
I should have started off by saying, I really have never really been big into video games. Like when I was a kid, I'd rather play with my Wii than play with a joystick. But that being said,
We all enjoy those joysticks.
I have played from time to time different games that I like, but it's not it's not a big repertoire here of games.
You can do both.
Todd, you struggling over there?
Someone just shot out on my cheek.
Uh-oh. Your eyes are getting red.
Go ahead and mark
And
that.
this is why we like bagel bites, fellas.
So
That's
another
I'm dying over here.
Premature pop on my cheek.
Everyone's dying on this round. Sorry.
Don't move, I'll go get you a towel.
another honorable mention. I played this when I was a wee young lad. Before playing with
Yeah, go ahead.
Mega Man. Mega Man.
Sean mentioned this one too.
Mega Man was pretty
You're hot?
It's fortune this round. It was only a matter of time, man.
It's only a matter of time. But in the defense of,
Well, that's okay,
of,
that's
of
all right.
pizza rolls, you can burn anything.
Thank you. Like a fucking bagel bite won't destroy your fucking roof of your mouth, you pieces of shit.
I can test it first.
And
The pizza roll is like
one,
maple
two,
Pizza
three.
rolls are here, bagel bites are not. So
Next time we'll do bagel bites.
I was just sitting here messing with that one and playing with it. I put it in my mouth, take one bite, and it's like, fuck.
You can do pizza anytime.
Pizza on the bacon.
So the next one is Zelda. I don't know which Zelda it was, but it was the gold cartridge for NES.
NES.
Yeah.
When
Are they
you-
all gold?
1 and 2.
No, but the one
Yeah.
before you could play with your wiener was gold.
That's the one that I played. That's the one that I played, and it was pretty good.
That was when we were like 6 years old.
Ocarina of Time, the one on the 64, I remember they had like special edition gold cartridges and people like
Yeah.
beating each other up and waiting in line around Toys R Us for them. And yeah, those are impossible to get.
My last honorable mention. This I remember going to Pizza Hut. When Pizza Hut used to have a buffet. Good old day. And they had a Tekken arcade.
oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I used to play the shit out of that.
Tekken is awesome.
Original
Tekken arcade.
Yeah.
Very fun. All right, so my top 5. I like Luigi's Mansion, specifically the third one.
Mm-hmm. That one on the Switch?
It is on the Switch.
Okay.
That's how I played it with my
Yeah.
my little one. It's very it's very.
I think
you
I had
got to
the
use your
original.
brain on this.
I had the original for GameCube that I got, like, meaning to play on the Wii. I didn't have an actual GameCube.
It's a game of skill. And,
It's like an RPG. It's an adventure game as opposed to, just the side scroller.
Next one, Mortal Kombat, and my favorite is Scorpion. Get over it. Next one on the list, Call of Duty.
Okay.
Black Ops. I like shooting the zombies.
It's a new one, huh?
Yeah. It's a newer one than the ones I've been mentioning. Let's see. Oh, number 2. So everything's in no particular order, but number 2 is Crash Bandicoot.
Oh.
Absolutely love Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
That's my style of game.
Same era as Twisted Metal.
That's,
PlayStation 1.
I don't know, man. I like the challenge. I like everything about Crash Bandicoot. And the number 1 video game for me, in an order, is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah. Very good choice.
I like the little raccoon tail and being able to
The Kabuki suit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bukkake suit?
Not the Bukkake suit, no.
Is that the one with all Bowser's sons?
That was the first time the Koopa Kids were introduced. I mean, they're in Super Mario World, but yeah, 3 was when that was the game changer with the whole map screen and all that. It was, Super Mario World was built on Super Mario 3.
So, that was mine.
All right, Josh.
Wait, for the record, real quick, my tongue is still feeling that squirt from the last pizza roll.
Oh,
I
wow.
think I'm going to be,
Someone got a squirter.
No, you fucking punanis. My tongue's like, I just had one right after y'all. No problems. But I wanted a little bit and it'll be fine.
That's what she said.
It just exploded.
I just don't like things squirting in my mouth.
That's a you problem.
Bruh. Well, yeah, my top 5, I'm going to go in order from 5 to 1. So number 5 is this game, one of the first massive multiplayer online games that, like, you had to have an AOL subscription at first, and then on top of that, get a mythic
game.
I'm sorry?
Aim game.
Kinda, yeah, AOL.
Okay.
Mage Storm. It was a first-person shooter, but like it also mixed in like role-playing game elements as far as like building your character, getting instead of shooting guns or whatever, you shot spells at people. It was, I spent so many fucking hours playing that game. Like my dad would be angry because again it's like time of dial-up, so.
You're tying up the phone.
I'm on it for hours.
Yeah. That reminds me of another one now.
But number 4, it's a more modern game, Valheim. I don't know if y'all have ever heard, but it's a super like immersive game where you can like build stuff, and it's like kind of like set around like Viking lore and stuff. Number 3 is also a game that I've been playing a lot. It's called Shapes, but with a Z. And it's almost like just
normally, like me and Travis are the ones that have some obscure lists here.
Josh is definitely
rocking the obscure today.
yeah. Well, it's like
These are probably PC games, right?
yeah. I play a lot of
There's
PC games.
no plumbers.
Some of mine are
ties.
PC
Oh
games.
shit! I had a good PC game, man. Fuck.
It's no plumbers don't wear ties.
The redneck rampage.
Redneck Rampage, man.
Yeah.
Which was porn.
But Shapes is like it's almost like a Lego type building
Like Tetris?
game because like they want shapes that are certain colors and rotations and stuff like that. So like you have to find the shapes on the map, then build the machines to like cut them up or paint them or make them whatever
like a
you
puzzle
need
game?
to. Yeah, kind of, sort of, and you have to return everything to the hub, which is in the center, which then adds like a whole nother level of
King Cake
complexity to it.
The King Cake Hub, yeah.
Yeah, it's the King Cake Hub. Yeah.
Josh,
Where all the
Josh,
king
do
cakes go.
you eat Fruity Pebble Rice Krispy Treats while playing these games?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Fruity Pebble Vapor. Number 2 would be just the entire Grand Theft Auto series.
Yeah.
I mean, from 1
That would make my favorite.
all the way till 5. I mean, just even 1 was on PlayStation 1 when it's like a overhead crappy graphics. You're shooting Pac-Man pellets at people and stuff. But it was awesome. I had it on Game Boy Color.
Oh, I had the old ones, like the old PC ones before, like when you're driving with the keyboard.
Yeah.
And you're like left, like gas was A or something. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like it was terrible. And then like GTA 3 came out, and I was like, what is this godsend of a game?
Yeah. The 3D changed everything. But
I'm blown away that you said it was on Game Boy Color.
oh yeah. That's how I was like. My mom was like, "Why do you want this game?" I was like, "So I can kill people on the go. Like I mean, I could be anywhere and shoot somebody." And my number one game, I would say, is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
A lot of Zeldas on this list so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one for me, not being a big RPG, that style of game. It was like, that was huge. I don't know why, like, that game just pulled you in.
Definitely just.
Well, you play as like young Link, and then you get to be adult Link, and it's like the whole different. It's like games inside.
And it was
games.
open world as well. Like it was before Grand Theft Auto on N64.
Yeah.
So like
On an N64, how the night and day would change, and you could only do shit at night and day and stuff like that. It was like you'd never seen a game like this ever. You know. Like, you'd literally sit there, Link would sit there, and you're like, I gotta wait till fucking nighttime so I can go into this cave or something, you know.
play the song or whatever. Yeah,
Or play a certain song at a certain time, and all, you know, it was very strategic.
Oh yeah, good game.
Me? Want me to go? I'll go. Travis is ready.
You go.
I'll go. All right. I deleted a lot of the things that people have already said, so we're not repeating.
That's not the point of the exercise.
Well, I mean,
If
they
they're
were
in-
honorable mentions.
If they're, okay, that's fine. If they're in
No,
your
they're not
top,
top five.
I was okay, same.
I didn't delete any
Characters
top
over there.
fives. I played way too many games.
Are they your top five?
It's got to be your top five. All right.
Your ball.
Honorable mentions, even though these could probably be on a top five. FIFA, like any of them.
That was close.
Like I have a great current FIFA story. It's the newest FIFA was out. I was at the recording studio. They have the newest gaming system, whatever. And one of the rapper's kids was sitting there talking a lot of shit about how good he was, and I could see he wasn't that good. And I haven't played in probably since 10 years. And I was just like, I guarantee I'll beat your ass. And he's like, really? He's like, you don't know shit about this new game. I don't spit. I was like, we'll see. And then I just sat there, just mercilessly beat him. He turned off the game. And his dad got mad at me. Like the rapper, he got mad at me, and he's like, and yeah, he's right here. He got mad at me, and I was like, son's gotta learn how to lose too, and if he's gonna talk shit, it's like that's a life lesson being taught here. So
it's pretty much any kid that was playing Madden, and they think like
he's like, you're cheating.
20-something-year-olds could beat him in Madden, and you
I'm
beat
not
the fuck
cheating.
out of him.
I'm just better than you.
I'm just been playing this since 2003. It's like before you were born. GTA specifically, as honorable mention, Vice City. I love Vice City.
Vice City was the one.
That was like the music, like just riding around, like just like it was such like a what is it, Scarface thing?
Ray Liotta too.
Yeah.
3 and Vice City were very close.
3 I almost beat, which is almost impossible to beat.
Right.
Like and then this is a real OG. Command and Conquer. Did anyone play that?
Yeah.
Okay. I played that was one of the first games I ever had, and that was tying up I played on a T1 line, or he had a T1 line, and I was like, all right, I'll play you. The internet or whatever.
When Mike said Call of Duty, I immediately thought of Command and Conquer.
Yeah, right. Because we played it. And this dude beat me mercilessly, and we played for 2 hours. It took forever, and it was anyway, so those are my honorable mentions.
What did they call that style of game? You had to build your own city and
it's like StarCraft and
Warcraft.
What are those kind of
turn-based?
It's not turn-based, huh?
Kind of because you have to
You're building,
set stuff up, and it takes a certain amount of time for process.
You go attack the other cities, and you.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like StarCraft, Warcraft, all that kind
Real
of stuff.
time turn-based, maybe.
Yeah, real-time strategy.
Yeah.
Real-time strategy games, I think. All right, number 5. This is one Sean's going to remember, and I'm surprised he doesn't. But we played the shit out of this game.
Kung Fu, anyhow.
No. WCW versus NWO. Remember that game?
N64.
N64. We played the crap. I just remember thinking like that was like to me the graphics were pristine at the time. I was like, oh, these guys look so real. The moves are so fluid. And whatever.
Oh yeah, on N64 was perfect.
And number 4 for me is GoldenEye. I mean, I know a lot of people glossed over it, but I played a lot of multiplayer GoldenEye over the years.
4-player with the landmines would fucking piss people off.
The facility, like you play like bazookas
You
only.
put those mines everywhere in the multiplayer. Like, how did I fucking die?
Yeah, I know. It's like,
It was a mine that I placed 10 minutes ago.
and the graphics, like when you had like a bunch of mines, like the game would like crap out. It was like you can't handle the explosion.
And then no one could take odd
Minesweeper.
jobs.
Right, no one
could be odd jobs. He was a short guy and you couldn't shoot him.
Yep.
Right. All right, number 3 was mentioned briefly by somebody, but I think it's a great game, and a lot of people have mentioned how much they love it. NBA Jam.
Yeah.
I love that game on arcade. I loved it. Like Sean told the story in the last podcast about
The OG arcade.
OG arcade,
With
beating it with
Shaq and
Shaq.
Scott
Right. All right, these other two, this other one Josh might know, and I don't think y'all are going to know because it's more current. I played it with my brothers, League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena. It's like Dota.
It's almost like Command and Conquer style too.
Well, no, because you have like a champion, and like it's not really like the same way you're building a base. You're kind of like there's like you have a champion with a building. I don't want to break down the game, but it's
I know
like
the music. My child loves the freaking soundtrack from that game.
well, League of Legends is like turned into this big thing. It was like a spinoff from Dota that it was one of the first like, hey, play for free type games. And my brother's like, hey, like I'm playing, you want to play? And now it's like this whole thing.
What's that game with y'all like running back and forth? Y'all had me play that one time. It was like very old school looking. It was like throwing axes and swords and shit at each other.
That might have been that. I don't
Is it
know.
really? No, it can't be that. It was like some
How
very,
old was it?
it was like vintage looking graphics, but it was something. I forget where we were playing that.
I don't know. It was a PC game?
No, it was on some system. I
I
can't
don't know.
remember.
I don't know.
It was like a purple guy against a yellow guy, and they were like trying to like advance on each other and like
I don't know what you're talking
yeah.
Gauntlet?
I'm trying to remember.
I remember Gauntlet.
No.
No, they had like the elf and like the knight and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what game it was, but and my number 1 is Counter-Strike 1.6. I was like competitive Counter-Strike.
It was Benson's game, huh?
Yeah. I played that way too much at MTSU.
Right away.
It was in lieu of like socializing with people and like
You watch the daily video of the day, one video of the day, and then you'd play Counter-Strike.
right. But yeah, Counter-Strike. I know they've had multiple since then, like Source and all the other ones, but I was a 1.6 at the time. That was the big one. Game. Like I was competitive. I wasn't great, but like I played a lot and I was in leagues and stuff. That's me.
Alright, so there's already been a lot of mine mentioned, so I'll kind of like skip through those in the honorable mentions. I'll mention them, but not really go much in detail. So the first one, Todd mentioned Mario Kart. I think that was a staple of our childhood. That was one. I used to get pretty damn competitive with that one. I actually got pissed one time. We had the old box TV, and I just side punched the box TV and actually punched a hole through it because it was pretty hollow. And, I remember my dad didn't notice it for a little while, and then one day he just the old gaming room. You could look through the kitchen and see the gaming room with the pool table and the place where we played video games. My dad was washing his hands at the sink and he sees the hole and he was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I had to basically break down and tell him, like, yeah, I got mad. And he was pretty pissed about it. Mario Kart, though, again, staple of childhood. That's one of my honorable mentions. Another one Biff just mentioned, and Sean mentioned it as well, NBA Jam. And then I'll kind of tie that in with the more modern day one. It's called NBA Playgrounds.
Oh, that's a good game.
And it's basically the same thing as NBA Jam. It's just got the current players on it. But yeah, really cool game. You can unlock characters, unlock big head modes, all that kind of stuff. I kind of like the idea of just being able to play, instead of playing with the whole team, you're just picking 2 guys off the team you're playing with. I thought that was a really cool concept. Another
honorable playgrounds. They don't even have to be on the same team. It could be like any 2 guys.
Yeah.
What system was that on?
It was
I was on
on
computer.
Xbox.
I have it.
Xbox.
I have it on the Switch,
Oh,
and then and Camden has it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I don't have kids, so
It's
I'm
on
like
Steam.
moving out all the
But yeah, it's
games.
basically NBA Playgrounds is the modern day version of NBA Jam, so it's really cool. It just
Yeah,
has
that's
more
cool.
current players on it, and they have throwback players too, so it's really cool.
It's kind of like NBA Street a little bit.
Yep. Another honorable mention that Todd mentioned. Did you have it in your top 5? I think you might have. It was NHL.
Yeah.
It used to be called NHL Face Off. Now it's just called NHL with a year behind it. I mean, Todd and I are both big hockey fans, so that just kind of goes hand in hand, and it's definitely one of the more enjoyable sports games. So those are 3 honorable mentions that I already mentioned.
I still have us creating on NHL hits.
NHL Hits was a badass
I can go
game,
fire
too.
that game up and show our characters are created.
Actually, Todd had the PS2 from back when we used to live at home, and I was actually wanting to play NHL Hits because I can't believe they didn't make more modern versions of that game.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 more honorable mentions that haven't been mentioned yet. One, Biff mentioned WCW. I have actually WWE SmackDown from 2003. It was called Here Comes the Pain. It had Brock Lesnar on the cover. I used to play the shit out of that game, and I used to like to play story mode on that game. That was really around the time that Evolution was popular. That was when Todd and I got back into wrestling with Triple H and Randy Orton and Batista and Ric Flair. And I used to play with those 4 characters and used to do story modes, and I used to have a great time playing that one. So that was hands down probably my favorite wrestling game ever. WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And then my last honorable mention, this was actually an old school shooting game. If you remember back on the regular Nintendo system, they had the Duck Hunt game and whatnot. Well, when PlayStation came out, they had a game called Point Blank, and it came with a gun. I used to play the crap out of that game. It was a shooting game that required a gun controller and used to basically kind of break plates and things like that. Really cool game. So that's my last honorable mention.
Could I bust a move in there? Shit.
Yep. I had a lot of busted games.
Jumping into my top 5. This one, I'm a Western fan. Todd's a Western fan, especially when it comes to movies. But Red Dead Revolver is a game that I played the crap out of on PlayStation. Carson actually has a PlayStation 5. Actually, PlayStation 5, the cool thing is you can go back and download old games. So I actually downloaded Red Dead Revolver on his PlayStation 5. Still play that every now and again. Again, story mode game, country western type game, old school shooting game. Love the crap out of it. So that comes in at number 5 for me. A couple of the fighting games have been mentioned so far, like Mortal Kombat. Nobody mentioned Street Fighter yet, I don't think.
I threw it in there real quick as all the fighting games, but yeah.
Todd mentioned Marvel vs. Capcom. Nobody's mentioned this one yet, so number 4 for me is actually Fatal Fury Special.
Oh, god damn, it's another good game.
Super Nintendo. It was kind of like your Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter type game, but it was called Fatal Fury. Similar style game, just kind of same kind of unique style characters.
Also made by Capcom.
Favorite character on the game was a guy with a blonde mohawk. His name was Duck King. I used to love that game. So Fatal Fury Special comes out 4. Also downloaded that one on the PlayStation 5. Number 3, Biff actually mentioned.
Oh.
Biff actually mentioned this one, and
Going over the preferences.
I know the only person that's sitting around here that's actually a soccer fan is Patrick, but FIFA is actually my favorite sports games of any of the sports games. I much prefer playing FIFA to Madden. Slightly prefer it to playing NHL. Prefer it to playing the show. Prefer it to playing any of the NBA games. With the exception of maybe NBA Jam. FIFA is my favorite sports game, and again, I every time we get a new system, I have to make sure I have a FIFA game with it. So even though I'm not a humongous soccer fan, I actually find that the FIFA games are the most fun games of any of the sports. So FIFA comes in at number 3 for me. Number 2 is Todd's mentioned both of these. My number 2 and number 1 in his honorable mentions, but number 2 is Super Punch Out. You could put Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the regular NES on there too, but Super Punch Out I found was better on the Super Nintendo. Definitely unique characters, more experience playing with it, so I definitely got better with it. they actually re-released the mini Super Nintendo that had built-in games, and Super Punch-Out's one of them. So Super Punch-Out comes in number 2. I actually got a shirt with the every Super Punch-Out character on it from T-Public. Shout out to T-Public. We've mentioned them a few times. But Super Punch-Out comes in at number 2. And my favorite game ever is Ken Griffey Major League Baseball on Nintendo. I used to play the crap out of that. And like Todd already alluded to, Ken Griffey was the only actual Major League character on the game. But you could easily, I used to play with the Reds because I was a huge Barry Larkin fan growing up, and you could easily tell the guy with the last name Hammett on the Reds was number 11 shortstop. That was Barry Larkin. So I used to play with the Reds most of the time.
Hitter on the White Sox was Frank Thomas.
Yep. So you could tell who was who, even though they weren't specifically named. But that was a fun game. We used to play the hell out of it.
Yeah, we played a lot.
Wish I could still play it today. But Ken Griffey Major League Baseball is my number 1.
Yep, emulators.
So then we'd play 2-player. We'd say like you can't do crazy pitches, just straight up fastball.
You're right.
Because we could fake the person out.
Well, if you turn off auto fielding, that was a true cheat.
Oh yeah, auto fielding was garbage.
Yeah, my dad would play auto fielding because he sucked at fielding.
I can't believe on an SNES game, I think I finished a full 162 game season on that.
My dad did too. He would play forever. Yeah, he would play.
Game was fun.
I remember him watching like the credits where they had the fake news articles. He's all, oh, this is great. It's like Christmas morning. He's playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like I was like, Dad, I want to play my new game. He's like, hold on. He's like fighting, losing the Glass Joe. Like, he was. I talked to him about that the other day when we posted in our group chat like the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight or whatever.
We didn't talk about that.
Oh, we did. Speaking of which, like,
it's got some time.
If anybody wants to get it, we could do a Wagons podcast from purchasing the pay-per-view. We just got to split it amongst
I thought it was on Netflix.
Oh,
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know it's going to be staged.
Yeah.
No, I hope it's a real fight.
I don't know if they're going to make you pay for it being that's a live event. But yeah, it's on Netflix though. So, but
it's on Netflix. I hope they don't make you pay.
Weekend Update said the real fight is Mike Tyson trying to pronounce Netflix.
Sorry for listening, Mike Tyson.
My fight is on Netflix.
Hey, look, Mike Tyson, I hope you knock him out, man.
I know. I hope he does too. I have a really bad joke from the Atlanta Olympics. Remember Muhammad Ali when he was carrying the torch or whatever? My dad said, he's like, you know, it should be a good event, cigarette lighting with Muhammad Ali. And he's like, his hand's shaking or whatever.
Or Michael J. Fox.
I was like, that's the most messed up.
Oh, that's getting left in.
Michael J. Fox, you're listening, Olivia.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox is a big wasted wagon. So
yeah. I'll close this out. I do have a few honorable mentions. Yeah, that's not the last straw for us. Don't worry. One of our honorable mentions about while we're on boxing, it's an honorable mention because I wish there were more versions of it than just the 2 that we got. It's Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Yep. 1 and 2 were great. I wish we had more current ones.
It's not ridicule boxing on games.
No. Think about how cool all the characters were. I mean, they could create more cool characters.
Right.
You know?
And
I know.
I love the game. I just wish I wish there were more versions of it going forward.
I did see a YouTube recently, and they had Gen Z playing NES for the first time, and these like teenagers were losing to Glass Joe.
Oh yeah, it's
I could beat Glass Joe in the first try when I was 6. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll give a shout out to Tecmo Bowl and Super Tecmo Bowl. Great games. Very very simple. You know, if you got Bo, it was a wrap for everybody else. Or if you got to Jerry Rice, you just chuck it up there and let him go get it. That was a cheat code.
Lawrence Taylor could stop touching.
Lawrence Taylor would stop you on defense.
The New York Giants on the original Tecmo Bowl, that one guy behind the line on the extra point could block the kick every time. I'd play with them against the computer, and the score would be like, 35 to 18 because they couldn't make extra points.
Another shout out, Street Fighter. More for me, 1 and 2. the originals. They were so
Street Fighter
classic.
2 was like, we
Because
played
I wore those.
The Street Fighter 1, like the really crappy arcade.
Yes, because I wore it out at the arcade because it was so terrible.
When you could only be like Ryu, however you say it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it was like very robotic.
Yep. Yep. And it was
like weird.
fantastic.
He still is including.
That was at like Godfather's Pizza somewhere. I remember
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
that.
Godfather's.
And I was like, they actually have a Street Fighter. There's no two behind it. Wow.
Another one, Metal Gear Solid. I think someone mentioned it earlier, but that was a great game. Multiple levels of the series, but I just remember that being one of the first games of that style and that shooting style that I watched. My last honorable mention, because I know I've got a lot, is NHL 94. That one specifically because that's the game that got me into hockey.
Yeah.
Madden 94.
I started...
Was it called Face Off back then, though?
No, it was NHL 94 at that point. But I took a liking to the Rangers and Mark Messier, and then I kind of got to the Nordiques, and so that led me to the 96 season when the Avalanche took over from the Nordiques to become an actual team. But NHL 94 got me into hockey.
Yeah, the Hartford
FIFA 06 did that.
Sharks goal scored by number 39, Jeff Friesen.
FIFA 06 did that for me in soccer or football.
I think that's what Jason Lee was it Jason Lee and Mallrats was playing on Sega Genesis? It was one of the NHL.
I think so, yeah.
And he's like, his girl, come on, we gotta go. He's like, come on, Hartford the Whale. He's playing with the Hartford Whalers.
My number 5 is a game called Digital Combat Simulator, DCS. It's a modern airplane dogfighting warfare type game.
Okay.
It's very realistic. So think like flight simulator like that, but with actual air combat and airplanes.
Like not just literally flying the plane. It was
Correct. There are missions you can do with take out like an enemy radar system and stuff like that, and you can play multiplayer or against the AI and things like that. But if you don't know, I am super huge into airplanes. When I growing up, I wanted to be an aircraft pilot, but I don't have the vision for that. So that dream was dead super early because I couldn't see well enough. So I couldn't be a Marine Corps or military pilot. That's why I joined ROTC. It's because I wanted to have a career in the military to go be a pilot.
you get the double PRK surgery like I had.
Yeah, we're already past that point in time. But anyway, since I can't fly planes, DCS is my outlet for wanting to be a pilot and just blow shit up.
I remember my cousin was really into the flight simulator, and it was like, at first it was like, that's all you do is you fly a plane. But I was like, this is really hard. It's freaking
Crash.
And then, I'm very new to the game, within the last 5 months, so I'm still learning how to do it. I'm crashing planes on takeoff, but I just got to that point of figuring out how to do that.
They're not Boeing and United.
Yeah, well, my quality control.
His planes actually are put together correct.
Yeah, my quality control is pretty solid.
The wheels falling off. And
My number 4 has been mentioned by a few people. It's NBA Jams. There's nothing better for me than when you get on fire and you can just shoot it from anywhere and it goes in.
Somebody
or
on the
you
news
dunk on
was
someone.
Even that guy Rob Krieger was just talking about that the other day. He was like, yeah, when he makes one something like Trey Murphy 2 threes in a row, makes one more, he's on fire.
Yeah,
he's still referencing NBA Jam and the other people.
Rob Krieger's already so.
Yeah, what the hell is he talking about?
Just the elaborate dunks that you could do in the game.
So awesome.
You know what he did? It was during
my dad's like, how are you blocking my dunks? My dad would get so mad.
It was during the sports segment. It was like Trey Murphy with his second 3 in a row. And he's like, he's heating up. And he's like waiting for somebody to react. And he's like,
My number 3 is, if I had to pick a version of it, it would probably be the last version that came out. It's NCAA 2014. But I also love the 08, 09, and some of the years with Tebow, but NCAA football, because you could play in career mode and build your take the worst school and build them up into something and be a national champion with it.
I think the last one we had was on Warwick Donald to cover on.
I will be buying the new version that comes out in a few months just because. So
I can't believe I didn't put Madden on the list with
even
all
if it doesn't have Arch
the
Man.
music.
Correct.
Even though you'll have to make Arch Man.
So how much music we discovered on the Madden series.
So I'll have a PS5 for that game and also for the game that's number 2 on my list, but it's more about the whole series, Gran Turismo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a car guy, so that pulls at me. Gran Turismo 7, even though it's got a lot of in-player transactions that you have to pay for and shit like that, all the new games are doing, at the core, it's still all the cars that you can play with, and that's me.
Yeah.
And my number one's, it's been mentioned, I think maybe once or twice, and it's my favorite movie series, and the game goes with it, because when you got the golden gun, you ran the fucking game. It's GoldenEye.
I forgot about the golden gun. Yeah.
The RP
Golden Guns Only was a fun.
Golden Guns Only was so fun, but also so frustrating because one douchebag who has no idea how to play the game is like, oh, look, I saw you first, pew, and you're dead. But that's the appeal of Golden Gun.
Yeah, we played. Yeah, I played way too.
But like the RP90, you get that and just put it in auto mode and just mow everything down.
Yeah.
But nothing better than like when you I kind of. When games like first started like spawning, where you just spawn and you spawn right next to someone and they just shoot you dead as soon as you spawn back.
Right.
That was also fun and frustrating, but that was a good way for me as a kid to take out.
People would put like shit by the body armor, you know? Like proximity
yeah.
You're like, oh, want to get the gun.
That was on PlayStation, right?
64.
They may have had.
It made that movie interesting because you're like, oh, the movie sucked.
Mm-hmm. That movie was terrible.
The only good thing about Miel yesterday, they had an N64, all 4 controllers laid out like that, and I saw Blitz was up there, NBA Hang Time. They maybe had GoldenEye.
Probably
that would have been the shit.
Russell
in a brewery and 4 of us play GoldenEye.
Russell is getting me set up with an emulator so I can go back and get. Well, not about. I'll probably buy a Nintendo Switch just to have all the classic NES games, not mention John Elway Football and a bunch of those games. But yes, GoldenEye will be the
NFL
reason.
Quarterbacks Club.
Yeah, that one too.
Knock off like
or NBA.
Madden was like, this is okay.
Was it like NBA Hoops? Was another one that was like a really pixelated shitty game. Yeah, that one too.
Versus Blazers.
It was a good one. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be a child again soon. Getting switched up.
Yeah, it's funny. The emulators back in college days, the computers weren't strong enough to run like N64. It was tough. I remember trying, but Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, played a shitload of on the laptop. Yeah,
they probably run Nidhogg. That was the game Sean was thinking about. It was some crappy, really crappy. What is it? A PlayStation game or something?
I don't know. Y'all were playing it.
They were playing it on like a PlayStation.
It was like Dylan's bachelor party where like Josh and Dylan were playing the shit out of this, and it's like it looks like some Atari game.
It's so crappy, but it's fun.
It's almost like Pong. Like however many kills you got, like you had a tally on each side. You could
it's a fun game. Like
the guy.
It's cheap. It's cheap and like
was it like an online thing or something?
It was something you could buy and it was really cheap. If you have a PlayStation, it's fun for
it's like one of those so simplistic but addicting games, especially when you're playing against a friend.
Yeah, it was fun. Not playing against them because they're.
Well, yeah, they played it religiously, man. Look at it.
I know, right?
I'm like Googling everything under the sun.
I think that was some good games
mentioned
there.
Good choice, Josh.
Nice trip down memory lane there. They're with the games we grew up on. We're going to go ahead and close out though with our ceremonial shot. So Todd, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, as I mentioned before, like I thought I should have brought this to a previous podcast because I have 2 bottles of Amaretto, whether it be Disaronno or Amaretto something or other. Just trying to get rid of it, so I'm bringing Disaronno Amaretto, and we're going to take shots of that.
Disaronno on the rocks?
Disaronno.
Let's get an Amaretto sour. Damn.
Do I want to do this?
Diesel. Thank you for supporting our
How
brand.
many shots we got going here?
I don't know.
We'll have the whole one for everybody.
Well, somebody gets an extra.
Josh needs one.
Josh has one.
Nope.
All right,
guys.
Cheers.
Great episode, guys. Good seeing everybody back.
Yeah.
Full house tonight.
That's right.
Great episode. And with that said, wagons out.
Wagons out.